Hey everyone! So we have the lead singer and guitarist from a local Phoenix band joining us today, who's going to tell us a little bit about himself, his band, and give us a little bit more insight on the production aspect of being in a band. So Nate, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to all of the listeners and just kind of tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Nate, and I play guitar and sing in a band called the Sink or Swim.
That's awesome. So when exactly did you start playing music?
I started taking piano lessons when I was about 4 years old. I did that until I turned about 10 or 11, which is when I picked up the guitar, and I've been mostly focusing on the guitar ever since. I started playing in bands when I could drive, when I was about 16 years old. My first band was a band called the Stone White Delicates, which was kind of like a synth rock, new wavy kind of sound. I only played guitar in that. I didn't sing too much, a little bit of background vocals here and there. After that, I played in a band called Liberty Deep Down, where I was the singer and guitar player. That was the first time I was ever the singer in a band. And after that, I now currently play in the band The Sink or Swim, where I also sing and play the guitar.
So clearly you've been in the music business for a very long time and you've gotten to experience both recording at home and in the studio. So which way of producing music do you like more?
When I played in Liberty Deep Down, we recorded all of our music ourselves, which had its advantages because you weren't on any particular time frame. You were able to kind of work at your own pace and produce work on your own means. But I much prefer the process of going into an actual studio with a producer who's overseeing the operation, because not only is the equipment much better, therefore being able to produce a more high quality, more radio ready product, having someone who's listened to thousands and thousands of records being made over the years to have kind of the final say of whether something works or doesn't work or is good or bad, and just knowing, like I said, that when you're done you're going to have a product that is really top of the line.
So what kind of softwares or music applications do you use to produce music?
When I'm in the studio, we'll use Pro Tools to record because it's a more open source platform that does better with miking real instruments and running them through a mixing console. But when I'm recording myself, I use Logic Pro, which is an Apple product, and it just makes it a lot easier because you can program drums yourself right on a grid. You can do things MIDI, which means through a keyboard, to program your bass and your piano effects, and it's just a lot easier to use than Pro Tools. There's a lot less of a learning curve when it comes to recording, and it's easy to produce a demo just in your house by yourself.
When we were talking before our interview, you told me that you guys have a new album releasing in January. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about that?
I'm extremely happy with the way it turned out. There are 5 songs, and although there were only 5 songs on this record, it took us about 2.5 months from start to finish to record it, going in there with everything already written. So there was no time in the studio that we had spent constructing these songs. They had already been constructed beforehand, but the overall production took about 2.5 months.
So before I came here to interview you today, I got the chance to listen to a few songs, and honestly, I really loved them. Could you possibly speak a little bit more about just your songwriting process and what kind of effort goes into putting a song together?
Usually when I'm writing a song, I'll come up with the groundwork on my guitar. I'll start strumming some chords or playing a riff that's been caught in my head, and I'll start humming, and I'll come up with a little melody. And that'll usually be a verse melody or a chorus melody, whatever comes first. Sometimes it's easier to write the chorus and then revolve the verses around the choruses, and sometimes it's easier to do it in a more linear fashion.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's actually all the time we're going to have for today. But thank you so much, Nate, for coming in and talking to me about your band and giving all of us a little bit of insight into music production. To all my listeners out there, the Sink or Swim's new album releases in January of this upcoming year, so be sure to be on the lookout for it. And thanks again for coming in, Nate.